And Craig Moeller is here in the studio with us this morning alongside Sarah to kind of talk more about this. Craig, we talked about this morning. 3 a.m. was cooler, but
I'm going okay. Depending on where you are, you might have got a little bit of relief. I stepped out this morning. I was like, when is this going to end? I know when it's going to end, but I just was feeling it again. The heat and the humidity. It's still a very tropical air mass out there. I don't know. I'm still counting all these things. Heat, humidity, yes. Feels swampy out there, and when you step outside, it won't be long before you start to sweat. There is some good news coming with some relief, but highs today still up into the mid-90s. Let me ask super producer Sarah Calloway. Good morning.
Good morning.
How was it for you getting out? Okay, you said it wasn't quite as bad. Matthew said it wasn't quite as bad where he was. What about closer to the ocean front? Was it pretty bad?
Actually, not really.
Really? You had a little break too?
I was very half asleep when I left this morning, so I don't. Now that I think about it, I don't really remember how I felt leaving.
So now we have the truth from our producer. She's just in a trance until she gets to work. Okay. Well, I can tell you dew points are still in the low to mid 70s. So really humid out there. As we take a look, we do have a flood watch and a weather impact alert because we have the potential with all that humidity and temperature still getting up low to mid 90s for some locally heavy downpours. I expect to see some thunderstorms popping up. You probably, if you've been here in Hampton Roads at all this spring or summer, we've already seen kind of the nature of what's going to happen here. You get heat. Hot air rises, that air mass lifts. It's so moist, you get a lot of heavy rain out of it. It falls. Sometimes these storms, are slow moving. They're not really being pushed along by a front, or they're not strong winds to keep these things going. They kind of develop and then they just kind of drift. And when you get that heavy rain with the slow moving storm, you have the potential for some flash flooding or excessive rainfall. Sometimes these storms have so much rain that it drags down, just the friction with the air kind of pulls down some of that air. It comes down, hits the ground, rushes out, and that outflow creates other areas where there's updrafts, and you get more storms kind of popping up. We call these popcorn thunderstorms, where you don't really know. It's not like you're watching a front come through that's going to trigger a line of storms that you say, okay, they'll start here, they'll end here, winds shift, and we're done. This is like a pan of frying oil, the heat and the humidity. So the heat would be like the flame, and the pan filled with oil would be all this humid air. So you don't know which kernel's going to start popping, what part of the pan is going to see it. But I would say all of Southeast Virginia needs to be ready, just knowing that we could, or maybe won't, but could see these storms popping up. The most important thing you can do is stay alert to the potential thunderstorms and possible flooding. Now, the chances for rain go up late afternoon and continue into the evening. The flood watch that's out is from 4 o'clock this afternoon through midnight, but the best chances for rain, I think, coming mid to late afternoon, and then another round coming up tomorrow afternoon, so we could see yet another flood watch, and maybe we extend our weather impact alert for tomorrow as well. We'll see how things play out. This is a look at the flood potential. And you know how we talk about the National Hurricane Center? We have that. We've got the Storm Prediction Center. There are these little divisions under the umbrella of NOAA. Okay, so there's NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. And then you've got the Hurricane Center. You've got the Storm Prediction Center. You've got the Climate Prediction Center. You have the Weather Prediction Center. And the Weather Prediction Center has us under a level 2 of 4 possible categories for flooding or excessive rainfall. That's all of eastern Virginia and down into North Carolina, right along the state line. Here's the area under the flood watch. Again, it does include Gates County, Hertford County, and Northampton in North Carolina, and then all of southeastern Virginia. Now, the eastern shore is not technically under the flood watch, but even if you're not, I would still be prepared for the potential for some locally heavy rain in spots. So you just want to make that. Look at our 7-day outlook. You see more chances for rain coming up, not only today, but better chances tomorrow in the metro. Wednesday, likely to see some more rain. Thursday, Friday, those chances go down a little bit more on Saturday, and then Sunday looks better. So we'll just need to watch all of this and keep everybody updated. Today, highs in the low 90s, that chance for storms later on. Now, Matthew or Sarah, do either of you have any questions about any of this stuff? I just keep throwing information. I want to give everybody a chance to ask questions.
No, I thought it was interesting with the popcorn thunderstorm thing. So that's kind of like, instead of seeing it go across, kind of like, boop.
Yeah, a lot of times when there's a front that drops down, we'll say, hey, there's going to be a line of storms that develops. We're going to deal with maybe a half hour, 45 minutes of really intense thunderstorms, or a couple hours if it's slower moving, whatever. In this case, we're just going to turn up the heat this afternoon, and that pan filled with oil, it's going to start percolating. You might get a cell here, a cell there. They're going to be popping up in different areas.
Wow.
So yeah, a little different scenario there. I will say for the year we are 4.37 inches below average for rainfall, and with those good chances for rain each and every day. Look at the 7-day forecast here. With the chance for rain each day, we have a good chance of cutting that significantly, maybe even eliminating that rainfall deficit after this 7-day period. So we'll see. It all depends on what actually falls over the airport or other areas. But all of this is beneficial. And again, after a week of significant rain chances every day, you got to believe areas under severe drought will be knocked back. Maybe moderate drought will be taken away.
Yeah. Are you worried about flooding?
Yeah, I mean, it's a concern. We've got the flood watch this afternoon where you have what we call precipitable water. That's the amount of water that's available in the atmosphere. If it's all squeezed out, we could see 1 to 2 inches of rain easily. Locally higher amounts aren't out of the question. So just have to see. And then it's also a nature of if we get what we call training, where one cell develops and then another one kind of develops over that same area. You get a few of those. I don't think we're going to see like series of storms moving one right after the other. That typically happens more when you've got like a front coming through and you see lines moving along the front. But we could see an area get hit and then another heavy downpour maybe after the atmosphere recharges a little bit. It's possible.
I was just going to say that normally when you have this much rain, you see it kind of cool down. But I'm still seeing 90s on there.
So that's a great point you make, Sarah. All right, so in this case, where we have the downpours, there will be an immediate cooling of the atmosphere or stabilization of the atmosphere. There's cold air aloft. When you guys look at the clouds, let's see if there's any over my shoulder. No, you just got some high cirrus clouds out there, a little cirro Q out there, a little cirrus stratus stack actually, or strata Q. When you get those towering cumulus clouds, the thunderstorms, that upper part of the cloud's really cool. When it collapses, brings some of that cooler air down, you might go from the 90s to low 80s and you get a little break. But this isn't like a front that comes through where it where you've got much cooler air that's sustained. In this case, brief cooling, then that sun starts to do its thing, and it bakes, and the air heats back up. So we'll have to watch and see.
Sounds good. Hopefully we get some cooling relief on the way at some point in July.
We'll look forward to it. Next week it does look like it is going to be a little cooler. So beyond Sunday, things are looking better.
Sounds good. We appreciate you taking the time, Craig, and hopefully you guys stay dry out there this week and today.